Hello everyone, it is Kinjiro Jinkoto and I am back. Today is a very special day. For those of you that do not know, today marks the anniversary of the very first live show that the Dio master, Ronnie James Dio, had performed with Black Sabbath in Germany back in 1980. April 17th, 1980. So today is that anniversary. Secondly, tomorrow, which will be April 18th, marks the anniversary for the release of the first album that Dio was on with Black Sabbath, the Heaven and Hell album. So the anniversary for that was April 18th, 1980. And why I'm mentioning that, those that follow my channel, here, Sunset Samurais, I am in the midst of recording an album. It is an all covers album. So, what I currently have finished is God of Thunder by Kiss off of Destroyer. And also Believer by Ozzy with Randy Rhoads. The next track that will be getting mixed by my friend and engineer extraordinaire, Dylan Andras, who is on tour right now with Assault, his band. So as soon as he gets back, we will be at it again to get Dark Light completely mixed and mastered, which is another Kiss song, originally written by Lou Reed. It's the Ace Frehley track off of Music from the Elder. And the next one in line that I'm going to work on, all the drum parts have been done by Adam Hradisky, and all the bass parts by Paul Lewis. I did all the vocal tracks. Now I just have to go in and lay out all the guitar tracks for none other than Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath. So the reason I wanted to mention that, everyone, is tomorrow, again, making it April the 18th of 2024. But again, the anniversary of the Heaven and Hell album back in 1980. So tomorrow, I will be putting up the first part of how to play Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath correctly. Because there is a lot of different versions out there, and I try to stick very closely, as much as humanly possible, to the album version. Alright? So, you can look forward to that. Tomorrow at some point I'll be putting up part 1 for that. And today, what is happening is this guitar lesson for the 17th of April 2024, Wednesday. It's going to be how to play neoclassical metal guitar, shred guitar, correctly. Once again, how to play neoclassical metal guitar, shred guitar, correctly, the Jinkoto way. Because there's a lot of different ways of doing this. And this lesson has been predominantly inspired, once again, I mentioned this before, and this will be the last thing I say, everyone, and we will jump right into the lesson. Okay, so Marty Friedman was interviewed about a month ago, roughly, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in that time slot, 1 month or 2 months ago, something like that. And he was really downplaying guitar solos and did not have a lot of good things to say about a lot of the modern rock and metal guitar players and the solos. And he even said that they should die a very slow death. Well, I think a big part of the problem is how to play neoclassical metal guitar, shred guitar, or in other words, being a shredder guitarist, but doing it correctly, which I would have to say that would be the Jinkoda way, my way. So we will cover that, all right now. So as usual, I am using my Boss Katana, the MK2. The gain is all the way up. The treble is all the way up. The delay and the reverb are about at 40%. And I'm using my Agile Flying V. Currently, the neck pickup is on. And I am tuned to A440 or E standard tuning, last time I checked. If it is not tuned to that, I greatly apologize, and very humbly so. But I'm pretty certain that it is still in standard tuning, last I checked. So let me give you guys my low E, the A, the low E one more time, and the high E, and then we will jump right into this, all right? So here it is, all right? Okay, in the A. Low E one last time. And my high E. All right, everyone. So, the first thing that I want to mention in terms of how to play neoclassical metal guitar, in other words, shred guitar correctly or properly, and as I made mention of, the Jinkoda way, the Kinjiro Jinkoda way. And what do I mean by that exactly? Well, this is going to be the most important factor right here. Melody. All the great guitarists, all the great shredders, and for me, that began with, of course, none other than the master, Randy Rhoads. But also, you know, Vinnie Moore, Yngwie J. Malmsteen, you know, Tony McAlpine. There's so many. Jason Becker. I mean, there's a ton of these guys that came out in the 80s that were phenomenal players. Okay, and as I thought about this more and more, and trying to figure out how to put a lesson together for this, for you guys, and help you to to become adept at this and be in the process of mastering it, to become very great at it, I thought, well, what can I do? What should my approach be? Well, very simply stated, the classical genre, classical music, it's very melodious, okay? And they don't use a lot of chords per se. Like, they don't strum chords like rock or heavy metal does. What they do is arpeggiate the chords, which means they're picking out every single note. All right? So, that's where we're going to begin. But first, I want to show you something. This came to my mind today earlier, and I thought this would be a great motif to start off with, because the melody is so memorable and it really sticks in your head. All right? Now, I don't know if this is note for note exactly, and it comes from a soundtrack from John Carpenter. All right? Halloween is what I think it is. All right? And so, here's what I'd like to show you guys, just to give you an example with which to work in to understand what I mean by how to play neoclassical metal shred guitar correctly. All right? So, if we take our middle finger, or index finger, either one, and bar the high E and the B string on the 12th fret. All right? And then grab the D string right here on the 15th fret. D string, D15. And then we're going to go to G9. And after that, hit the open E. Okay, so what we're going to do is this. Notice how that sticks in your head. See, melody, gotta have that. That is the key. The mindless shred of scales up and down the neck constantly, nobody seems to like that, in case you have not noticed. So, what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you guys how to play something somewhat in the flavor of Jason Becker, but with also a lot of Bach influence as well. All right, so what we're going to do is bar the D and the G string on the 11th fret. All right, and then with the index finger, go to the B string on 9, and then the 12th fret also on the B string, and then we're going to pull off, and then we're going to go back down, meaning the G string and the D string right here on 11. So what I mean by that is this. Okay? Then we're going to pull off, and then the index finger is on the 9th fret, and then we're going to slide down to the 6th fret. All right? Then we're going to go back to this note right here on the D string on 9, and then we're going to use our middle finger on the G string on 7, and then the index finger on 6 on B, and then we're going to go to the B string on the 9th fret, and then we're going to slide up on the B string to the 12th fret and give it a slight bend. All right, no vibrato, just bend it up. What I mean by that is this. like that, okay? Once again. One last time. Now we're going to do exactly that same pattern on the next set of strings, up. So, well, for me it's up. For you guys it will be down, so to speak. So we're going to start on the G string and the B string. Again, exactly what we did on the 11th fret. All right? So G11, B11, high E 9, high E 12. Then pull off, go right back down the way you came until we get to that note on the G string on 11. Pull off to 9 on the G, slide down to 6, go back to 9 on the G, and then we're going to go B7, high E6, high E7, slide up, and give it a bend. Exactly what we just did. Okay? So both of those together. Okay, just like that. Now we're going to go high E12, B13, G14, D14, A15, A12. So what I mean by that is this. And then climb back up. So that together is going to sound like this and should sound like this, okay? Okay? Now right after that, what we're going to do is we're going to climb on the B string from B14, B15, and B17. And then we're going to go G16, G18, and G19. And then following that, well, let's get that part first, and then I will show you the next part. All right, so let's start with this. That's what we're going to be doing. So once again, after this arpeggio, now we're going to go G 18, G16, G14, and exactly the same thing on the D string. D18, D16, D14. All right, so you can either climb or descend, right? I prefer descending. It just sounds more melodic to me. Now we're going to go D again, 14, D12, D11, A12, and then low E5. Okay, so from this arpeggio, it should sound like this. Okay, so one more time with that part slowly. All right, so once again, next, after this note right here on the 5th fret of the low E. Alright? Now we're going to go to the octave note on the D string on the 7th fret. Now we're going to grab this note right here on the 9th fret on the G. Now we're going to go here on the 12th fret of the B and grab that note, and also slide up to the 13th fret, also on the B, and grab that note and give it some vibrato. So what I mean by that is this. So after this, on the 13th fret and the 12th of the B, then we're going to go to the G string on the 15th and the 14th fret. And then down to the 10th fret and the 9th fret, also on the G string. Okay, so once again, all right, guys, so after that, we have this arpeggio, okay? So now we're going to go from low E5, low E9. Then with the middle finger, we're going to bar the A and the D string on the 7th fret. So it's... 5, low E9, bar the A and the D on 7, and then we're going to go B9 to G9 to B8, right? So actually, let me correct myself. So after we bar the A and the D on the 7th fret here, then we're going to use the index finger on the 6th fret, and then the pinky up to the 9th fret of the G, both on the G. So sorry guys, I'm not trying to confuse you. All right, so one more time. All right, so you can see. So we're going low E5, low E9, A7, D7, G6, G9, B8. Let's see here. Let me get the rhythm going so I can figure out that next part. Okay. There it is. All right. So, right after the barred part, and then the G from 6 to G9. Now we're going to go B8 and B6, and then back to G9. So and then high E5, and then back to B8, and then back to G9. So up to that part, right? Okay, so the ending part of the sequence is so that's going to be, the ending part is going to be on the high E 5th fret, B 8th fret, G 9th fret, B 6th fret, then we bar the G and the D string on the 7th fret and go down, and then A on the 8th fret, A on the 5th fret, back to A on the 8th fret, and then the G string on the 7th fret. And what I mean by all that is simply this. One more time. All right, so that comes right after. right, next, we got this other arpeggiated sequence. We're going to go from the low E on the 7th fret to the low E on the 10th fret. So we're going to go low E 7, low E 10, A 9, D 9, to G 7, G 10, back to G 7, and then to D 8. Okay, so like so. Next, let's see. All right, so the octave note. We're going to go to the B string of the octave note, which is right here on the 11th fret of the B. All right, so so the last section is going to be high E12, high E7, the B string 8, and the G string 9. All right. D string 9, A string 10, A string 7. So that segment goes. Now we're going to hit the open E and go to the 3rd fret. And then the A string on the 2nd fret. And then slide up to the 7th fret of the A. Okay, so the arpeggiated sequences, right, goes like this. I did that ending part. I was thinking of a different arpeggio. I'm sorry, guys. All right, so it's not wrong. You could still do it the way that I explained it. It'll still be fine. But to do this the way Bach did it is what I'm saying. It has to be done this way. So it'll be... Again, low E7, low E10, A and D 9, G 7, G10, G7, and D8. And then B11, B7, and G8. So then high E12 and high E7. And then B8 and G9. And then D9 and then D5 and then A7. And then we hit the open E and go. Okay, so that whole segment should be this. Okay, so both of those arpeggiated sequences once again. All right, which that all happens right after this, right? Now we're going to finish off with some Bach. This is a segment that Yngwie does on Live at Leningrad at the intro of Dreaming. Very cool part to me. I used to watch that over and over again until I got it down. It's one of my favorite things that Yngwie does. And it's going to help you so much. I mean, it's helped me tremendously. You know, to be honest with you, once I learned this from hearing it and watching him over and over again in that concert for Live at Leningrad on this, it improved my playing 10,000-fold. I'm not even kidding. All right? So, what we're going to do, put the index finger on the D string on the 7th fret. Ring finger on the G string on the 9th fret. Pinky on the 10th fret of the D string, right? So now we're going to go on the D string, all this for right now on the D. And then right here to the A string on the 7th. So once again, one more time. D7, G9, D10, D7, D9, or I'm sorry, D10, D9, D7, and D6, and then D9, and A7. Okay, so I'm alternate picking, guys, keeping everything very close. I'm not moving around much. I keep the pick very close to the strings, practically resting on them, okay? Now we bar the A and the D. So again, the ring finger goes onto the 9th fret of the D string. And then we go back to the note right here, still barring the A and the D on the 7, but we're going to return to this note here on the A string. So it's going to go. Okay, see that? One last time slowly with that part. Now we're going to end with this. Okay, so that's all right after this. going to take our ring finger and we're going to do 2 harmonics right here on the low E and the A string on the 12th fret. Now we're going to take our index finger and go to the 9th fret on the D. And then following that, we are going to take our middle finger and bar all the strings and pick from the D down. So what I mean by that is, again. All right, so that segment once again. We bar the D, the G, the B, and the high E on the 10th fret and strike each one of those notes. And don't strum them like a chord. Don't do this. That's not what we're doing. Again, we're arpeggiating. So you literally have to make sure you're ringing out only one single note each time by muting, right? So I'm using the palm of my hand on the bridge to get that muting sound. And then we go from the 12th fret of the high E to the 8th fret of the high E. And then we go back to this fret right here on the 10th fret for the high E and the B string. Once again, just this part. So then okay. Now we're going to do the infamous arpeggio that I've taught on many of my lessons, which is going to be the G, the B, and the high E. And this time we are going from the 5th fret of the G, the 6th, or let's see here. Yeah, the 6th fret of the B, and the 5th fret of the high E. So 7G, 6B, 5E. After this part, right? Again, another infamous arpeggio. So we're going to slide up after that, right? Up to the 9th fret of the high E, and then we're going to basically pull off with our ring finger on the 12th fret of the high. Okay, so, and then that arpeggio is going to be high E 9, B 11, and G 12. So like that. right back to what we started with this Bach piece. So, starting from here. Everyone, so we'll pick up right from here for right now, just so make sure that you guys have retained this. Okay, so one bad note on that box segment right there. So once again, all right, so one more time, last time. I hope you guys gained a lot out of that. I will be back with another one. It will be how to play neoclassical metal guitar, shred guitar, correctly, part 2. Hopefully I'll get that done tonight, because for tomorrow, as I mentioned, just as a quick reminder, because of my album, Lucifer's Magic, Miracles of the Devil, all predominantly cover songs. There'll be some original stuff, but predominantly it's all of these bands that I grew up with that really influenced me to play, especially neoclassically. And because of that, with tomorrow being the anniversary of the release of Black Sabbath's Heaven and Hell with Ronnie James Dio, back in time on April 18th, 1980, tomorrow will have to lend itself to my paying homage by doing part 1 of Heaven and Hell. Alright, so once I get Heaven and Hell done, we will return back to the neoclassical stuff. But again, I hope you guys really enjoyed this lesson. And shout out to Dylan for helping me with my album. Looking forward to getting back in the studio with him. Finish up Dark Light and work on Heaven and Hell. Get that done so we can get closer to finish of this album, which I've been working on this since October of 2019. It's been a struggle trying to find another studio to go to where I could work with Dylan. And now that's happened, so, yep. Love you, brother. Dylan Andras, you rule. Thank you for helping me. I appreciate you. And looking forward to getting back in the studio and looking forward to finishing up with more neoclassical material, but after we cover the Dio Master Heaven and Hell guitar lesson. All right, everyone, please like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think of this video. All right. Good night. Have a great one. Keep jamming, and I will see you all very soon. Take care.